the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Loaded up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Ooh, you take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. Take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. Take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. Take me higher. Yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Welcome to Friday Night Guys, a progressive news show with Les BS3. I am your host, Marlon, along with Theus. And on today's show, it is totally different than what I had up since yesterday. Yesterday, I had the title up that it's going to be an open forum. We was going to look at a bunch of Reddit stories and give the male point of view on the subjects. Then the Supreme Court came up. Now, granted, we're not going to get a deep philosophical deep dive into the Supreme Court, much like what we're going to do tomorrow, which that's exactly what we're going to do with a combining Saturday Night Vibe and Radical Truth to Power. So we are going to do a deeper dive in it tomorrow. But as I was putting the show together, there was a video that I wanted to share with Theus to get his thoughts on it. And it's been sitting there for months at least, maybe almost a year, because I just never could remember to put it up. But because of what's been going on with the Supreme Court, it just dawned on me that this video would be absolutely perfect to play tonight and get it from Theus's point of view, my point of view, and see what everybody else out there thinks. So, what's going on, Theus?
Not much, man. Nothing much. Long weekend ahead of us, and we get to watch the other part of the country celebrate their independence, and we get to, hopefully get some good food, some good family time in. There you go.
Listen to fireworks.
I'm not really into fireworks.
I don't fell out of it. Like I used to, back in the old neighborhood, we used to have fireworks war with the neighbors down the street. You know, they would go blow up fireworks and we blow out fireworks. But now, like, yeah.
My neighbors are gonna be. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't start shooting fireworks tonight. Because that's whenever you get close to it, it's just what they do for like a week. But whatever. I don't care. I don't have a dog, so it's not going to terrorize my dog. So, have fun.
Yeah.
At least I don't have the type of neighbors who shoot guns. That helps.
Yeah. Let's see who's all out there today. Hello, Mickey. Hello, Marlon.
Mickey.
Don't know how long I'll last. Well, hello, Mickey. Thanks for coming in. Hello, Anna.
Hello.
And hello, Susan. Hello. I was ripping bushes up with my bare hands today. Even learned how to do it without dislocating my shoulder and brought a mother of a Joe. Okay, now that.
Yeah, you tougher than me because bushes can be tough.
Mother of a hoe, yeah. And they're just
hey, Tracy.
The white supremacist court. Yeah, I've heard worse. Let's go ahead and get this party started. So, like I said, again, if you didn't see that I changed the title is Should Black People Be More Grateful? This video, which looks like a TikTok, but what looks more like a video, it starts off with a woman from Africa who came over to the United States, and she was feeling that the Black community was not grateful compared to where she came from. But you'll notice that the more she stays over here and the more that she starts learning what's going on in the history, then she starts understanding. However, then we have a commentator who comes in at the end, and you'll see.
Even though I want to disagree with you, I get where you're coming from. When I see Black people talking about racism, all that stuff, I'm like, what is wrong with these people? You guys have food, you have EBT, all this thing, and you're here shouting about somebody is racist too. Just leave that person and move on. I feel that way. Like, why are they always like complaining? But when Black Lives Matters started happening, like, I sat down, I said, I need to actually know why these people are pained. And if we look at the history, what they've done to them, like if you actually sit down, watch some documentaries, how they were maltreated, I don't think if I'm actually born, I will forgive those people. I don't care. It's easier for us Africans that were raised in Africa to feel like they're complaining because we were raised through struggle. Like I barely even have water, and you have water, you're complaining. But then it's not about the basic necessity or about how we are raised. We are raised like, I don't want to say way better. We might not have resources, but there are some way, like our own people will not look down on us or put us behind. So it's in their nurture that way. Like they just can't overlook it. And if you sit down and watch everything that the forefathers have been through for you, I changed my mind. No, they need to be angry. However, they should still move forward.
This is something I think about a lot. And yeah, I do think about it a lot. I'm like, why are we always complaining? Now, I'm a Black American. Like all my family is from here. Generations. I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds of years. I ain't got no family from nowhere else. Maybe my fifth grandfather was from Jamaica or some Caribbean island. But for the most part, all my family is from here. So I'm speaking from a person whose lineage is from here. I had a debate with my dad, and I was like, yo, Dad, no matter how much good or how much they try to right the wrongs, we always find something to complain about, like she was saying. Like, why would anybody want to do anything nice for you? And I hear what she's saying. I believe in forgiveness. So I do forgive. But why would anybody want to do anything nice for you or even try to right the wrongs in any capacity, in any way, if you're just going to turn around and find something else to complain about? So in a sense, should we even receive anything good from them? Any type of benefits, EBT, whatever type of reparation they try, should we even receive it? Because if we're not going to be appreciative, then what's the point? We have valid reason for why we're frustrated, but it's like either we just be self-sufficient or we figure out a balance. What do y'all think? What I'm saying is that we have valid reason for why we're frustrated, just like she said. But why do we continue to complain? We have accomplished a lot. Our ancestors have accomplished a lot for us. We have so much to be thankful for, all the things that they worked hard and sacrificed themselves for us. So why are we still complaining? We should be happy, right? I don't know.
So go ahead, Theo.
No, so this is it's a good discussion to have. It's important, but you need to make sure that when you're having this discussion, you're doing it with one inside the community, two with good intentions, right? Because this is obviously a young man who he's intelligent, but he's not learned, right? He's speaking through his interpretation through his own lived experiences, and you can see where his insights are coming from, but he's not balancing it with reality and the weight of not just history, but the weight of the very nature of the struggle. You see what I'm saying? So, starting off with the sister of the continent. Let me. Sorry, looks like I might lose my connection, so I'm trying to fix that. So, starting off with the sister from the continent, and correct,
Uh-oh.
am I still there?
You back now? Yeah.
Am I good? Okay.
Yeah.
This is an experience I've had having conversations with some people from the islands. I mean, from the continent. They have a completely different lived experience, and so when you talk about various portions of Africa, when you're poor, right? Am I still on? I don't. All right. Well, I hope I am. All right. So they come through a different struggle piece, but they can't quite relate to what our story is because they were never in a situation where they were enslaved. What they were was subjugated. What they were was colonized, right? But they were still the majority in their land. So they were able to retain their culture. They were able to retain their families. They were able to do all those things. And then they come here to America and they see that we have the foundational things, right? There's a measure of a social safety net. There's a measure of, like I had a lady tell me this once when I worked at the bank. She was like, when you're hungry, you can technically still get food. If you're sick or you're hurt, you could technically still go to the hospital. Whereas where they're from, can't do that, right? So that's where that concept of complaining comes from. Until they realize that the only reason you are here is because of us. The only reason that America will let you immigrate to this country, and when you immigrate into this country, you don't come in a servant slave status, it's because of us. It's because of our struggle. It's because of the death and the destruction that we have suffered throughout the years. So that's where this lady was kind of helping her own community see that transition piece. Slow down and take yourself out of it and actually start to look and see what's going on, and you might have a new perspective, because what's normal to you is not normal to the next person. See, to be an American is supposed to have a certain level of social currency. We are supposed to be Americans, okay? So that means I'm not going to compare myself to what you're doing in Botswana or India or Cairo. I don't know. I'm not comparing myself with you because I'm an American. So I'm comparing myself to what America says an American should have. All the privileges of being an American should be mine as well. So we're fighting over the fact that we don't have those. We're fighting over the fact that we are murdered and killed and disappeared and no one bats an eye, even though we're being killed by the very people we pay taxes to. We're up in arms because we're in communities that make it so we can't qualify for the loan. It's not that we can't run a business. We can't qualify for the damn loan to start the business. So we always have to start our businesses basically from scratch, which means you're starting a business undercapitalized, which means that the first hiccup or bump in the road, you go out of business. That means that you have to charge your consumer base more because you're not able to buy in bulk. You have to buy at cost. See what I'm saying? So that's where some of those things have to be recognized if you're going to have a real conversation. Now I'm going to flip over to the American cat. All right. So this is a situation where he said two words that stuck out to me: complaining and appreciate. So he's already kind of broken in his mindset. He's centering whiteness. He's saying, look at what these good white folks have done for us. Yeah, they've been bad in the past, but right now they're not. And it's like, bruh, do you not understand how systemic oppression works? Do you not understand obstacles? Do you not understand the web of things that afflict you? So even though you yourself may be doing okay, like I myself am doing okay, right? But that doesn't mean that that's the same experience for the majority of our people. It doesn't mean that our normal and the white normal is the same, because it's not, right? You can be average and white and have a good life. But to be black and have a good life, you must be above average. Average and black is not going to let you walk into an average life. Most of our people in America, more than 40% of the African American population lives at or below the poverty line. Then if you move up to the next level, most of those people don't make more than a household income of $80,000 a year. Household. Now you compare that to our white counterparts, and the median income or household asset value, for white America is 250,000. That's the median value. Our median value is like 80 grand. Now you tell me how that's commensurate, right? But it's hard for you to get into this conversation if you want to start every conversation from here, because you don't understand that the time value of money, which is how our economy works, this is how investments work, right? You invest a little bit here and you hold on to it and you let it grow over time. Okay, well, what's the real commodity here? It's time. It's your primary investment and time. Well, black people in America, by law, for most of the country, could not own land in many places until the 1950s and 1960s. So that means the country starts in 17 whatever, 200-year head start before we can even start to make the principal investment. We have 100 years for our investments to start to compound versus someone else who has had 150, 200, 300 years for theirs to compound. There's also such thing as a time opportunity cost, right? So if you have a situation where while we were in bondage, while we were subjugated, while we were under the apartheid system, we could not own land, we could not purchase real assets, we could not own the mineral resources of this country, that means only one group could. Well, if only one group could hold those things, once they're held, they're held. Once you own the mine, you own it. Once you own the forest, you own it, right? You make paper, right? You know, I'm trying to make a toy car out of wood. You make paper, man. No, matter of fact, you make money making trees. It's not the same game. So what I would say with that young brother is we'd have to just sit down and help him kind of pull some more pieces together so that he could see beyond himself and understand that your life is anecdotal. We got to get you to look at the group.
All right. Let me answer this question real quick, because Parker is in, and he thinks this is a pre-recorded episode. Nope, this is a live episode. We do Friday night, guys, every Friday before a holiday. So the next Friday night, guys, will be before Labor Day, I guess. Yeah, I'm yeah, it's Labor Day, because now we're into the every other month when you get a holiday now. 40 acres means more than most people realize. Screw the mule. On second thought, don't do that. But since you did bring up 40 acres, here's a. I get where the lady was coming from, but if you've been watching this show long enough, you know I hate that argument of finding worse than to make your situation, to make your lifestyle, to make another person, to make another place, to make another country, whatever, your economics. You're not making a very good argument when you have to go to the worst to make your situation look better. It's not fair. If somebody's in the housing projects and barely scraping by, and you have to make a choice between eating or paying your light bill, you can't walk up to them and go, "Well, it's better than being homeless." Well, okay, I guess. So that's just for the lady. That's just one of my pet peeves. I just never liked that argument. From the young man, you're seeing things as better, but it's kind of like the same argument that I just told you about the pet peeve. That, yeah, we're doing things better, but you're, before I even get into that, because I'm jumping the gun because I know there's a second video. Apparently, the guy's getting pushed back on what he said is. So he coming back and he's made a second video.
By the way, I'm not talking about complaining about injustices, because injustices should be complained about, or we should speak up about those things. What I'm saying is, in context, what I'm saying is that I rarely ever hear us being grateful. We complain. We make our voices loud when it comes to complaining, but are we grateful for all the things our ancestors done for us? Are we grateful for where we've come today? Are we grateful for for the white people trying to even make it right? For those who did try to make it right, are we grateful for them? This is a lot of people don't like talking about stuff like this, but I'm going to ask the real questions, because we got to think here, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I just hear complaining. It's nothing wrong with complaining, but balance it. Balance it with some gratefulness, some gratitude, some thankfulness. It is not nearly as bad as it was in the 50s. There are a lot of things that's still injustice and still that's bad. I'm not saying it's not, but let's be grateful for the things that.
So,
and that's not something I did. He just trailed off. I don't know what happened.
No, that's cool. Be fair to the brother, because he is trying to get to a valid point that I've often tried to get to as well, and it's really hard to do it. Like I struggle with the words, and I'm probably going to struggle here today, right? But it really comes down to uncentering whiteness, right? Now, where I take exception out of all the things he was saying was, are we grateful for the white people? No. Okay? For those white people who do right and do good things, congratulations. Thank you for being a good person. But I'm not going to give you a cookie for that, right? You're doing what you're supposed to do. The energy needs to be focused on the ones who are causing harm, because that's the ones who are motivated to cause you harm, right? If you are waiting for me to pat you on the back as one of the good ones, you will be sorely disappointed, because I'm going to see you as just a good person. I could give a rat's ass what color you are, because my problem is with the white people who are trying to cause my people harm. So what he's trying to get at, I think, is that there does need to be a balance, right? There does need to, but the thing is that balance doesn't always need to be vocalized at the same time. That's where my problem is with people who are saying things the way he's saying it. Because what he's basically saying is, these are bad, now let's also talk about the good, and we got to do it at the same time. And I'm saying, no. Sometimes you need to just talk about what's bad, and sometimes you talk about what's good, right? Juneteenth. We celebrated Juneteenth before it became a national holiday because of the freedom struggle with respect to that piece. It wasn't even about just Galveston, Texas, and our brothers and sisters in slavery who finally were emancipated. Because part of the American story, because you got to say this part of the American story is, yes, we were emancipated, but emancipated is not the same as free. Look it up, the definition. So we were emancipated into abject poverty. We were emancipated into second-class citizenship. We were emancipated into the convict leasing program. We were emancipated into generational poverty. So fuck that. I'm sorry. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time clapping about the good people who ended slavery. I'm going to say thank you for being good people and fighting. Just like I say for the black people, thank you. Right? I owe my ancestors. I have a shirt that says it. I walk down the street, freaks people out. Says I owe my ancestors. Yes, I do. I'm an walking embodiment of the blessings of what their suffrage was. But that that's not the thing, right? Like we have to get to the point where we stop celebrating the struggle. Okay? I've heard it said before, where we overcome. No, we suffer through. And the problem is we have to learn how to stay angry, stay motivated, and get organized and get back together without being under oppression's thumb. See, oftentimes people will look back with the rose-colored glasses on our people during segregation and say, but we were so much closer together then. You're damn straight we were. If you go to a prison, they're pretty close together. They're forced into it. Okay? What I'm saying is now that the walls are down and we're not in apartheid, but we are still set upon, we need to get that sense of community back together. We got to get that organization back together. We got to get that energy back together because the fight isn't over. What we owe our ancestors is to continue the fight. And we can't continue that fight, in my opinion, if we're always trying to find a way to clap in the middle of the fight. This isn't the time to celebrate. This isn't. This is the time to take a breath when you can. But before you tell me you're tired, before you tell me sometimes you can't always be serious, Theus. Sometimes you gotta be able to take a break. Yeah, that's true. If your ass is serious. But if you're always looking for a break, I don't take you serious. Be serious, then take a break. Don't take a break from being serious. Come on, I mean, it's just a thing. So the young man, I get where he's trying to go. Focus on the building. Focus on what you have accomplished. Focus on where we have come from. Focus on where we're trying to get to. That's a valid conversation. The brother is right on that in that respect. But his message gets lost because he's talking to a bunch of people who are in the midst of a freedom struggle who don't have time to be listening to you about celebrating some other people. It's lost on someone like me. It just is.
Yeah. I want so badly to say I get where he's coming from, but I can't. I just can't. I can't. I tried. I just can't do it. Because what you want us to do is be grateful for the most minimum things that this country has given to the Black community. And that bothers me. You're and again, that's why I had to stop myself and play that video, because again, that whole we're better than we was in the 50s. And the 50s was better than slavery. The hell is your point?
Right.
It still sucked. I mean, and the 80s were better than the 50s. It still sucked. We are better now than we was in the 80s. Guess what? You get the gist what I'm saying. My point is, I do not want that argument out to be grateful for, and maybe I'll put it to you this way. I'm not going to be grateful for something that you gave us that we should have already had. If that makes sense.
I think the terminology matters.
Yes, I can't be grateful for what you given the white community, and now you're slowly trickling down to the Black community, and you're saying be grateful for it. I can't, because we're still 200 years behind. They're systematically, if you're looking at all the stuff that's going on in this country right now, since you want to use the 50s as an example, they're purposely trying to put us back in the 50s. Now, thank goodness the Supreme Court did challenge three voter rights situation. Appreciate that. Then you turn around and eliminated affirmative action. One step forward, which you want us to be grateful about, 5 steps back. So I'll let you finish this because it's like I can't get with you, dude. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't get with being grateful for crumbs.
And that's why I think it's about word choice, right? So that's why I'm saying I can kind of get where the young brother's coming from, because I believe that he's on the right side of the struggle. He just isn't seeing it quite the same way I see it. So I can still work with a cat like that. You see what I'm saying? I just don't agree with everything that he's saying. So certain words trigger. So when you use the word appreciate, you say the word grateful, right?
Yeah.
Those are triggering words. Okay. I did a video a long time. I don't even remember where I got the thing now. But it's like you're trapped in a room. So we're gonna go with a slavery piece first. You're trapped in a room. There's no way out. One door in, right? And you can't get out of that. And every day, someone walks in the room and they beat you with a stick. They just beat the shit out of you, leave you cowered in the corner, and then they walk back out, close the door behind them. And then one day, they come back in the room. You're expecting another beating because they do this every day. And they say, you know what, Marlon? I'm sorry. I shouldn't be beating you with a stick. You didn't do anything to me for me to be doing this to you. You are a human being and you deserve better. And then they slap the shit out of you, punch you in your jaw, and walk out the room. And that becomes your daily treatment. Then, a little later, they come back, give you the same similar kind of speech, same similar kind of half-ass apology. Because you notice they still didn't let your ass out this room yet. And now they just shove you against the wall. They just mush you, just throw you wall to wall. They're not slapping you. They're not punching you. They just pushing you wall to wall. Walk out the door and close it. Now, there's a case that could be made. At least he ain't beat me with a stick no more. There's a case that could be made. At least he's not slapping and punching me. That's how that young man's explanation falls on the ears of someone who's more intimately tied to our struggle. You are still not free. You still can't get your ass out the room and you're still being abused. But you want to tell me to appreciate at least I'm not getting beat with the stick. See, this is the problem where people are coming from different sides. But while I said I could still get with this cat, I could still talk to him because what he's talking about, what he's trying to get to, is the other side of the discussion.
He's coming in good faith. He's coming in good faith. I can tell you that much. If he was coming with a whole bunch of stuff, and we've been doing this show for a long time, we can smell BS from a mile away. This guy is not BSing us. He has
a different point of view.
He has a different point of view, and to be fair, I just don't think he sees the whole picture. I think he's not seeing past, present, and future. He's seeing the present.
But here's the thing, though. This is the beauty of it. This is why it's so important for us, especially those of us who believe that we are trying to work with our people to continue to move the ball forward, right? To continue to compete and be in a better position, is to recognize that we aren't all going to come from the same place. We aren't going to have the same perspectives, right? I was probably a lot more like him 20 years ago. So now a case could be made that I have much more tunnel vision. I'm much more in a fight or flight situation, right? While some of y'all out here trying to do kumbaya and make friends with everybody across the color spectrum, I'm like, I make friends with those who make sense to make friends with. I'm not looking for friends, right? I appreciate when I make friends, but I ain't going looking for them because I'm in a bunker mentality. I'm looking at how do I build a business that helps to help educate my children, because what I see coming is that they're going to make it more and more oppressive to be a minority in a public school system. I'm trying to figure out how do I help educate our children so that they actually get a taste of their history, a taste of community, a taste of identity that is not being reshaped by people who don't want you to know any aspect of history. I'm trying to work with middle class and working class Black families so that we can shore up and have systems of friendships and collaboration so that when we start getting laid off because there's no longer the same level of implied protections, what the Supreme Court just kind of broke up with affirmative action. So when they start cutting jobs or they're not hiring the same way, how do you make sure you eat? How do you, make sure the rent gets paid? How do you do? See, this is where community has to come in, right? So I'm working over there. That's why y'all don't see me making videos anymore, right? Because I'm trying to work over there. I'm in the real world now, right? Because what I have been saying is coming, freaking here. Okay. So public school education has been failing the American population, white, Black, and other forever. But it was the best opportunity our community had to be able to get closer to the education we needed to move more of us into the middle class world than many of us inhabit. And they're taking that away from you. They're criminalizing your very nature. They're criminalizing you being Black. They're criminalizing you being LGBTQIA. They're criminalizing any and everything they can except for being white and male. So when you see these things coming, it's hard for someone like me to dial it back, right? I don't know how. I don't even want to dial it back anymore.
No.
My goal now is just not to become so radical that I become a problem.
I don't have a problem being a good problem.
Now I got a family to take care of. See, it's kind of like I get it. See, like I'm only a hair trigger away from.
Let me read this message real quick though, because this is a new person right here, and I think it's Chauvron, I believe, and welcome. And almost every generation of Black folks have had their own hell. It was slavery, then Jim Crow, then the attack on the civil rights movement leaders, war on drugs, mass incarceration, etc., etc. Now we are in a right-wing Black backlash, rolling back the little rights that we did have.
Well said. And that happens every time. After every bout of Black advancement, you have a white backlash. Every single time. And this is something this young brother that was doing a video needs to get a hold of. Everything that you say that we got, it wasn't because they gave it to us. They were all concessions. And it was all paid in blood. Everything, hear me, Black folk, hear me, white folk, hear me, anybody who's hearing my voice. The struggle and the accomplishments that we have were all paid in blood. They were all done by the masses for your individual opportunities to exist. The civil rights movement was not nonviolent. We were nonviolent. They were very violent. We have to understand the distinction in the term. So that's why I'm saying we got to make room for young brothers like that, because I think he's going to be the leaders of the future, but he has to get through this phase that he's in. And that'll help tone down some of the brothers who are way more out there than me. So takes all types.
Look, I take mental breaks. That's why we're not going to have a show Sunday. I want to relax and you know, recharge my battery. But hear what I'm saying though. I do that because and we got a bunch of people watching now, like the most we've ever had so far. So so hear what I'm saying. I'm not doing it because I'm tired of the issues that we have. And if you stick with us long enough, you'll know that about me, about Thea's, about our other co-hosts of Anna and Tracy. We don't take breaks because we're tired of what America is doing, and I'm tired of hearing about, and I'm tired of what they're doing to us, and I'm blah, 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 and everything else. Yeah, but I've been tired for 20 years. I know this is a marathon. I know this is a fight that we have to keep fighting. So in order for us to keep fighting, you can't burn yourself out. You can't go 24 hours, 7 days a week at 100 miles per hour. Not because you're not good at it, because we need you in it for an extended period of time. I've got a video up of the Arkansas 6. The students that went to the all-white school the black students that went to the all-white school for the first time.
I mean, you got the ones in Arkansas, you got the Alabama ones. I mean, you name it. You know,
or the Little Rock.
I've never gotten into those little pieces.
The Little Rock.
The Little Rock, yeah.
Yeah, the Little Rock, and hear what I'm telling you. Do you understand how bad it has to be where you have to take little kids and put them in a classroom and explain to them what they're going to experience and how they need to react to it?
Well, that's because, in my opinion, we did the fight wrong.
We did the fight wrong then?
Yeah. So here's the thing. So check this out. And I'm not criticizing those who came before me. Okay? There's a difference of opinion. Because there were many who were doing what I'm about to say. See, part of our struggle here in America is that as black people, we have been with white people so long that we truly just want them to accept our humanity. That's it. Right? We just see me as an equal to you. Well, and showing your black ass, they're not going to do that. On whole. Now, this is not for all the individuals. So let me go ahead and do the disclosure because, you know, we got new people here. Everything I'm saying ain't about all the white people, and it's not about all the black people. None of us are monoliths, okay? What I'm saying is the mass behavior, the culture that's driving is a particular manifest in a particular way. So once we can get to the point where those who reject us no longer hurts our feelings to be rejected because we've already rejected them. See, the problem here is we've never rejected them. We've never looked at them and said, you know what? I refuse to envy a thief. And I refuse to envy a robber, a liar. I'm sorry. See what I'm saying? So we envy what they have. We envy the trappings of being an American. We envy the freedom and the audacity and the swagger that they just kind of wander through life with. We may not verbally say it, but damn it, we do because our behaviors show it. And if you go back and you listen to what Malcolm was saying, if you go back and you study Marcus Garvey, you go back and even check out Booker T. Washington and really look at what he was trying to do, you'll find that these are men who rejected whiteness. They didn't reject white people. They rejected whiteness. You are not normative. You are actually behaving in a devilish way. So there's no way that I will ever seek to be like you. I will seek to be a better me. And if we can get to that, then you will find much of the respect that has been absent will start to manifest because you present something that's uncomfortable. You present something that they're not familiar with. You present someone that will look them in the eye. You will see someone who will reject the fact that they're even standing there like they do to you. But so long as we're always talking about Black Lives Matter too. You know how you prove Black Lives Matter too? You even the exchange rate. Black life comes way too cheap, folks. Something happens to one of them, they're going to go find any and every goddamn body. Something to happen to one of us, they ain't even coming to look for your body. Exchange rate. Got to even it up a little bit. The thing with the Little Rock 9 that you're talking about, or even with the integration of the University of Alabama or any of the other universities, right? These were heroes. These were brave people. But look at it. We put that weight on our children, folks. That weight was put on children because we knew if our grown ass showed up, they'd kill us. And they damn near killed your children too. They did, in fact, in Alabama, where they blew them up in a church. All right. They killed Tamir Rice, 12-year-old baby boy. What? That ain't ancient history. Okay? So reject those who reject you. Double down on what we do have. I wish I could go back, man. I would have gone to HBCU. I wish I had. No disrespect to the school I went to. Had a great time. Wonderful experience. But invest in ourselves. I'm raising my daughters to go to HBCUs. Right?
Well, my daughter went to one. My niece is looking to go to one. So,
right? So if we don't value the things that we have, this is where that brother was kind of hidden. If we don't value what we have, how dare we get mad at somebody else for not valuing it? And this is something that Black folks hate when I say this, but I need y'all to hear this part too. It's important for us to look at ourselves and no longer see ourselves as a one-off. We have to break that. And until we do, we're going to continue to fight this circle thing where their ice is colder than ours. Their up is higher. Right? So it's just, I don't know, man. Oh, but I want to say this real quick. For those who are not familiar, I hit on time value of money earlier. This is just to illustrate my point. So if you look at, this is a trick, right, in finance. We call it the rule of 72. You take whatever interest rate that you're going to be receiving off of your investment and you divide it into 72. So for example, if you're getting a rate of return of 10%, then it's going to take 7.2 years for your investment to double. Okay? And then it's going to double every 7.2 years. All right, y'all with me? Cool. So let's assume that you were a family in the year of 1900 and you bought some land for $5,000. Okay? That's probably a shitload of land for 1900. But you bought some land for $5,000. Because I think you could get a slave for 10 grand. So $5,000, get some land. 7 years later, that's 1907. That money doubles to 10,000. 7 more years, we got 1914. We're at 20,000. Because remember, it's doubling. It's not adding. It's doubling. You move that thing forward. Here we go to 1942. You're now at $320,000 in value off of a $5,000 investment. How much difference in time was that? 1942, 1900, 42 years. That's just your granddaddy. Your granddaddy bought some land. 42 years later, that shit worth $320,000. In 1942, guess who gets to go to college off of a simple refinancing of the house? Everybody. Because back then it didn't cost much to go to college. Guess who got houses to move into to begin this exact same cycle over? Everybody. But it's 1942. Wait a minute. Black folks couldn't own shit in 1942. Even if you did own stuff, you were redlined and segregated into oblivion, so your property values don't move. In fact, your houses weren't even built to code. Look it up, FHA. It's horrible what they did to us. So move that forward to 1956. That $5,000 investment is now $1.2 million. We are not the same.
I'm speaking for myself. I get it. I hope y'all get it. I get it. It's a terrible. I've been trying to find an analogy myself, Theas, and I just couldn't find one that literally made sense. But it's the only thing I can even come up with is it's the equivalent of whiteness pulling the rug out from under the black community. See you laying on the ground and then point at you and go, see, that's where they always at. They lazy. They don't ever want to get up. Every time I look at them, they on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, a great analogy I've seen many, many times is about the race, right? I like to use the ladder analogy, but you often see with the race, right? Where there one person is running the race, clear path. The next one got to jump over stuff, climb under stuff, dodge stuff, right?
I thought you were going to the teacher one, where the teacher said,
huh?
There was an
it's something about climbing a tree and it's all different animals?
No, it was the one where the teacher was trying to teach everybody about race relations. And the teacher took them out in the field and says, okay, who are the fastest runners in the class? Well, I think he said, who's the fastest black runner in the class? And a little black boy raised it. Who's the fastest white runner in the class? Now, the white kid, that everybody know the white kid got heat. Like, he is the best. Said, okay, we're going to have a 100-yard dash. Okay. And the white kid is nervous. Like, dude, I'm the fastest one in the school. He's not going to beat me. He's like, just hear me out. He said, on your mark, get set. Wait a minute. He turns to the white kid and goes, but I need you to start 50 yards back. What? Yeah, I need you to start 50 yards back, and then I'm going to say ready, set, go. But we're only running 100 yards. Yeah, I know. But I'm going to need you to start 50 yards back. Well, that's not fair. That's race relations.
See, my favorite one.
Well, let me say. See, my deal is you can look at everything that we have now and realize that we're getting across the finish line, which we're not. But still, if you want to look at the analogy that the black community, the Latino community, the minorities, the LGBTQ community is at the promised land, best believe it's not the real promised land because we started 200 years back. So we're at a land.
Well, one thing that's really important is from the American experience, we just, like you were saying, we didn't start from the same place. See, the white community, however you fall into the white community, right? So, because a lot of the people that we associate with whiteness, they're not like from back in slavery days. Like their family came in way after that. But they inherited the privileges.
Right.
But here's a huge difference for those who are not familiar with. See, black people, when we were brought to this continent, we were brought as slaves, as chattel, as just property. That they killed more of us on the way here than they got here. Okay. Right. So only the strongest of our bloodlines made it. Okay. But we got here, and the first thing we've had to do is fight for our humanity.
Hold up, Biz. That's Quentin. That's the brother who coined the phrase Marlon when he talked, when I be on Dash's show. He's trying to do the whole, what was that movie? Boomerang, where the Eartha Kitt.
Marcus Darling.
So every time I go on Dash's show, ball, and it spells it all out. So, hey, Quentin. But Quentin can't pick on me
What's
too
good, man?
because Quentin has like a Peloton Junior, like it's a Peloton, but it's not really a Peloton, and he got it for free. So I pick on him about that. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to cut you short because
No, you're good. But what I was going to hit on is just that there's a difference between fighting for your privileges and fighting for your humanity. White people you've never had to fight for your humanity. Never. In America, You've always fought for your rights.
Yep.
We had to first fight for our humanity before we even could get to talking about some damn rights.
Rights.
Okay? We're the only ones that I'm aware of. I don't think the Native American, the Indigenous Americans are in this category, but it might be just how tricky how America is. But to my knowledge, we're the only ones who had to be written into the Constitution to gain our humanity. Right? Then
wait a minute, but what we written into the Constitution as property?
No. Well, yes, in a way. The 3/5 compromise is what you're touching on.
Yeah.
But that was similar to what we still do today. Not that because you're gonna get me, bro. You're gonna have me out here. But it's similar to what we do today with our prison population. It's the same system. But that was just so they'd have head rights. But yeah, even then, right, we were still property. Then you look at when we did get the Emancipation Amendments, so like at 13, 14, 15. Then you get those. They had to be written to make it so that we could be considered citizens. And then there's even goofier, well, not goofier, but it's goofy. We're the only ones that they got to re-vote whether or not we can keep voting, right? Yeah, so that lets you know we're kind of like on a guest worker visa in a way. They can unwrite your ass right out the Constitution the same way they wrote you in. Because to be white in America, you never had to do that. The moment your family got here, on whether they flew in, sailed in, swam in, whatever in, their humanity was there. They just had to fight for their rights. So once again, we're not the same. What I would like to say, though, is, or once again, brothers and sisters, it's really important for us to learn our history so that we know the tricks of the trade as they start to come up, and that we stay engaged, right? We stay engaged, and we understand that politics is extremely important, extremely important. All you black folk out there talking about, I don't vote because it don't matter. It does matter. And I'm not here to ridicule you or any of that stuff. I'm telling you, it does matter. But I'm also here to say that I agree with you in the fact that it's really, really fucked up, okay? And that it's not a representative government. Right. We do not vote for representatives. We vote for elected officials. There's a distinction in the term. Right. So I get it, folks. I see why you don't want to vote, but I'm telling you that though even as corrupt as this system is, if you overwhelm the system, you still get things. And then the white America is split almost 50-50 all the time. Like they're always split. So they need wedge groups to swing the vote. So that's us. That's the Asian community. You don't get me started on them because y'all mad at the Supreme Court. You really should be mad at the damn Asian community because they're the ones for the last 50 years have been pushing to break the 14th Amendment. So you're mad at the wrong folks, people.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
but just I don't know, man. I kind of got off on a tangent there. But as far as like not being in the same place at the same time, we have our favorite analogies. I gave you the room. You gave me the one with the race. I like the one with the ladder. There's also Monopoly is always classic, right? So,
all right. Last thing before the hour is up. I saw for the first time the other day the 90s Denzel Washington Malcolm X film. It would be interesting to hear how you all think that the movie holds up today. I wanted to put this Parker. The movie was. I'd rather you read the book than watch the movie. That's all I'm going to say about Malcolm X. But what I would,
if you don't watch the movie, if you don't read the book, watch the movie though.
Oh yeah, you got to do one of the two. I just said I personally would like to read the book. My My ask for you though is because I talked about it. It was a while back. Is what I said. When I said this, go watch the Chris Rock movie Heads of State. Go watch that movie. It was in 2003. Parker,
Oh,
when
you
I
mean the
tell
Barack Obama story?
no, absolutely not. But when I tell
I mean,
you,
I mean, for real.
it was not though.
That was the Barack Obama. It was before
Even in
Barack
that
even
movie,
became president,
even in
wasn't
that
it?
movie, a part of me was telling Chris, "Hey, shut the hell up! Damn,
Nah.
just doing some stupid." Man, I promise you, I rewatched that movie earlier. I still, because I watched the movie then, I was like, "That's not good." I don't know. Now I'm a grown man, and I rewatched the movie recently and went, "Man, shut the hell up! Damn, that's what." My God,
Man, I love that silly ass movie. I love that movie, man.
Oh, it was
That
a good movie,
that
but
movie is
my
fun.
point was go watch that movie because my point to the group when I watched the movie and I went, it is so effed up that not shit has changed since 2003 when the movie came out. Like, I kept looking at that movie and I was like, we're in the same shit since 2003. It's the same stuff.
Because it's not the same though. That's it. That's what the young brother was trying to get at. See, it's all about the perspective you're coming at it with. It's not all the same.
Well, I'm coming
In a
with
manner of
truth.
speaking, kind of worse.
Oh,
Because the way they treat it.
Hold that thought because Mickey Theus in the Bill of Rights, it was written that the indigenous, we're merciless Indian savages. They wasn't even given citizenship until 1924. Merciless.
See,
Indians.
I thought they were with us with having to wait for some that dumbass shit. You know,
God,
so it's like
dang.
so thank you, Mickey. So
Thank you,
understand the forces that are up against you. This is come on, right? And Mickey, correct me if I'm wrong here. I think I'm right here. Okay, so I don't remember exactly the year. Okay, so this was back during the time they were doing forced sterilization on Black people and on indigenous people and on anyone that they thought was gay or mentally ill, which they thought was the same thing, right? They were stealing indigenous people's children and selling them to white families and re-educating them, right? Basically destroying the Native American people from within. I say that only to fast forward to what did they do when they were stealing these children from Latinos coming across the border? Because this was their country first. So guess what? Those are indigenous people too. So they were stealing their children and adopting them out. So the game is not changing, folks. This is because the players on the field change. It's still the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? Trace, it's still the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? It's still the same teams.
It's still
right.
sucks.
So you got to stay on the field and you got to fight.
All right, let's shut down the first hour, everybody. If everybody who is new here, and apparently we are new here, that is our first hour where I'm trying to bring Friday Night Guys back to the more serious, because I want the serious point of view of men. This all came from me watching and listening to our sister when she had the Progressive Queens, when it was just their thoughts from a woman's point of view. So I wanted to get our thoughts on a male point of view, but I found that when I look back at the show, there was too much laughter. I don't know a better way of saying it when I know there are serious subjects that we could be talking about. But so that was that serious subject. Like I said, tomorrow we really will be getting into what the Supreme Court rulings have been. There were, obviously there's one more that came down today, which I saw it coming, but I still want to talk about it tomorrow in a way. But right now, everybody that's new here, what we will do now is we're going to take a 3-minute break to reboot and refresh. This is something, and I know everybody knows this, but in case you're new here, this is something that I started doing for Mickey, who has been a loyal watcher since almost damn near day one. Where Mickey always says, I need a break. I need to take a break. I need to reboot my computer and everything else. I was like, okay, so you know what? I'll take a 3-minute break so Mickey can reboot her computer. So that's the statement when I say reboot and refresh. Reboot your computer, refresh yourself, go get you another drink, go use the bathroom and everything else. Now, the other side is the more lighter side where we'll look at a real or nah. We'll look at Am I the A-hole? And we'll look at Foxy's videos of the week. If you're still in a political mindset or you're still in a social mindset, please stay tuned because this is me and Theus. We can turn any goofy ass story into a political or social issue. We're just like that. We've done it before. We had a video last week, and Theus doesn't even know this. The video that we had last week, where we just went on a big long tangent, me, you, Tracy, and Anna, and we was just talking back and forth. That took up an hour, so that's why we wound up almost talking for 4 hours that night. When I broke that video down, it was almost an hour, and that was just from a video, and we still made it about as political and social as you can. So anyway, 3-minute break to reboot and refresh, and we will see everybody on the other side. Stay tuned.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, finally. I always stay dreaming, never imagine I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground. I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free.
are back. And of course, if you're new here, this is the part where we have to go and pay those bills. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/a better Tracy media page. Help support Tracy and all of her endeavors. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/complex mind. Help support Diaz and all of his endeavors. Please do not forget to go to my website, patreon.com. Radical Truth to Power, exactly the way it's spelled, capital R, capital T, capital T, capital P. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, BorelliaEtc.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. And keep in mind that Saturday Night Vibe / Radical Truth to Power will be tomorrow night at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard
9 a.m.?
9 p.m. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Also, yes, because I'm not doing a Sunday show, Tracy will have a Sunday show. So y'all make sure that y'all tune in to Tracy's show on Sunday. I have Tracy, what's the subject? Or you're just coming on just to talk or something or other. I don't know what you're going to come on to do. So let us know what the subject is, or you're just coming on just to talk. Anyway, am I the a-hole? What is it? Oh Lord. Ranking pizza chains.
Just make sure Godfather Pizza's on there.
I gotta go back.
Rest in peace, Herman Cain.
I gotta go back to Godfather Pizza. We finally got it back in Charlotte.
I wouldn't trust any new version of a Godfather's Pizza. Because, you know, Godfather's Pizza, at that time, to me, they were better than Pizza Hut. And that's back when Pizza Hut was banging, right? And then Godfather's didn't make it. Pizza Hut is terrible now.
You know what you do? You know what you do with Pizza Hut? Don't get the sauce.
How do you get pizza without the sauce?
Just trust me. That's what a lot of places are doing now. They don't put the sauce on there. It's just the dough and the meat and the cheese.
No, I need sauce.
No, because
that's why my favorite pizza is Jet's Pizza. That's my favorite pizza right there.
Everybody can't do sauce.
They really can't, especially when they keep cutting corners and trying to do it cheaper. Like you can ketchup on pizza. It ain't right.
God. All right.
Or mayonnaise on anything.
Just had to go there, didn't you? Boyfriend says that I stink.
Good. I have been with my boyfriend for over a year and everything has been great except for one thing. Every single day, at least once, he will tell me that I stink and smell of BO, body odor. When we met, I showered every day, applied regular deodorant in the morning, brushed my teeth 3 times a day. Now I am so paranoid about smelling bad that I shower at least twice a day. I apply new industrial strength deodorant every few hours. I have a reminder on my phone, perfume, and I brush my teeth anytime I eat or drink something that isn't water. I feel like I'm going crazy. I didn't think that I smelled bad in the beginning, and I don't think I smell bad now, but obviously I smell bad to him, right? I'm that weirdo that keeps sneakily smelling their own armpits. I've been to the doctor and he has said that there's nothing medically wrong. It has honestly gotten to the point where I literally shove my armpit in my friends and family's faces asking if I smell bad. They all say I don't smell like BO at all. One friend even said I smelled too clean, like a Lush store. If you don't know what a Lush store is, it smells amazing. Check them out. Candy Thunder loves Lush stores. I am getting so paranoid. He won't cuddle or anything when he says I smell. I really don't know what more I can do. Update. So, unexpected edit. I waited for him to make a comment this morning so I could talk to him. It was less than an hour after waking up that he said, "God, you stink." I had already showered and put on deodorant. I snapped and asked what exactly he was smelling because at this point I'm one of the cleanest people on the planet, and if I still smell bad to him, then we should just break up. He got all panicked and upset. I eventually got out of him that this is what his father always said to his mother. Apparently, his father told him that it was a surefire technique to have a woman never leave you because she will feel too low to cheat, will love only you, and will always be clean. Needless to say, his father is wrong. He's packing his things and moving out of my house today.
So yeah, he's an asshole. And unless, well, he's not a kid because he's moved in and lives with this woman. So I can't even give him the benefit of ignorance. You know, like people oftentimes try to give people passes for some of the strangest things. Personally, this is something I can't give you a pass for. I know where some of it kind of comes out of, right? Because it's an old, I don't say it's a player move. It's not really a player move, but it's kind of one of those things where this is gonna sound terrible, but like when you dating outside your weight class, so she fine as hell, so you got to find something to make her feel self-conscious about. Like usually you pick something innocuous like an earlobe or a left nostril. You know what I'm saying? Something stupid. You know, just to kind of humble her a little bit. But and that's wrong too. Just so y'all know, that's wrong. But what he did was just abusive. It's just pure. It's flat out. It's abusive. It's all there is to it.
There we
Even
go.
explained it. He even explained it as being abusive. Well, this is what my dad did to abuse my mother, so that she would have no self-esteem and not have the strength to leave. Oh, there's two ways to do a relationship. There's extremes and ranges all between, but there's two ways. You can make an environment that the other person feels that they want to be in, or you can make an environment where the other person fears being without. So it's either you're going to encourage or you're going to create fear. And people love to go with fear because fear gives them an immediate feedback response, right? They get a power, they get a feeling of power that they're able to make you afraid, to make you feel a certain way, right? Whereas when you do a positive, encouraging approach, you don't always get the feedback you need because oftentimes that person you're encouraging and you're being positive to doesn't really appreciate what you're doing. So you end up getting some of the negative coming back to you. And it's just a funky, weird thing that people do to each other. But I'm definitely on the encourage side. I believe that you make an environment that the other person can see themselves in and find a way to be happy in. And then you have my Android logic that kicks in that says, it's not my job to make you happy. That's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to make the environment where you can be happy. And if you decide to leave, then there's option B, get the hell out.
This may be a selfish thing for me to say, but I am selfish. It is what it is. I want you to stay with me for me. I don't want you to stay with me because of fear of not having somebody. I don't want you to stay with me because you may not be able to find somebody as good as me. Or in other words, I want you to want me for Marlon. You fell in love with Marlon, so I want you to stay with me for Marlon. Not because of what's the word? The alternative, I guess I could say. What could or could not happen. That doesn't make me feel like you're in it for me. Like, there is no way in the world that I can cheat on Foxy because I literally just want Foxy. Period. It's in the story. You big booty, big breast, pretty eye, low hair, pretty face looking thing. Ha ha ha. I'll never walk up to you and ask your name or your number and where you stay. Not once. Never had a desire to because I want my wife. But at the same token, I want my wife to want me. Like even I don't even want. Well, I'm just not a cheater, so that's why I'm staying with it. Okay, so if you thought cheat was okay, you would do it. No, that's not what I'm saying. Well, you're not giving me.
But isn't that always the case?
No. You're staying with
If a
somebody.
person thinks cheating is okay, then they'll cheat when they feel like it's okay.
What? Okay, but what is it about? Okay, but here's my deal. Are you saying I don't cheat because that's your moral compass, or I'm not going to cheat on Marlon?
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. So here, I'll give you me.
Yeah.
I don't cheat because of my moral compass. I have a personal belief system that says that no one is actually faithful or committed to the other person because of the other person. They're faithful or committed to the other person because of themselves. Because here's the thing: when you base it on the other person has a complex life just like you do, and we're not always going to be in lockstep. Life is going to treat us differently, even when we're right next to each other. We're married, we're building things together, we're doing things together. Life happens, right? So there's going to be the cycles that marriage goes through. Sometimes marriage is great and sometimes it's shit, right? But it's a cycle, and you stick with it, it can cycle back through so long as there's love and there's commitment and all that good stuff, right? But if your moral code says that it is okay to cheat if X, Y, or Z, then that other person, when they have their bad spell, when they have their down spell, when your cycle is in a negative rotation, your relationship's in danger. Whereas with me, relationship might be in danger because of interpersonal issues, but you never have to worry about me cheating because I won't cheat because of me. There's not a woman out there that can make me cheat. It ain't gonna happen. I ain't gonna cheat because you did something stupid. I ain't gonna cheat because no, I don't do it. So that's just my viewpoint on it. I think it's an unfair weight to attach it to another person because people change. So now you're just hoping they don't change too much.
And that's a good point right there. That's an insecure person to use a tactic like that. It is. That's why I want you to want me. That's why I'm saying you have to be so secure with yourself that if that person just decides they don't want to be with you, cool, fine. Somebody told me a long time ago, not every job.
I'm literally, it's fine though.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm not trying to work shit out. Like you say you want to leave, it's fine. People say that it's fine, but they don't mean that it's fine. No. Because then when it happens, they want to try to barter and trade and work on things. And
wait a minute.
Say you want to go, you can go.
No, because here's my deal. You have to always constantly be working on your marriage.
I agree with that.
And I do get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying because, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I'm just saying that we have a certain background that's the same, and people will use that as a weapon compared to, trying to fix the issue. Well, if you don't like it, you can leave. Well, I don't like this, so I'm gonna leave, and that's not a damn weapon. You don't do that.
Don't threaten me with that one. Don't threaten me with that one. That's a bad move.
I heard so many stories, and I'm gonna try to find some that I'm gonna leave, and I'm toxic, and I'm bad for you, and everything else. And then when I listened to the beginning of the story, we've been together for 5 months. The hell?
Hey, that's a good time to cut bait.
Bye. I don't even know your social security number. What the hell do I care that you leave? I don't even know your shoe size. There's the door. Don't care. I honestly care.
I think we had this conversation before, and it also goes into a little bit of how do you measure time. Like, I don't measure time in a relationship as an investment. So
and I did.
You see what I'm saying? So
I did,
like
but
if
I did, but I had a caveat to it because I said I measure time. I measure time depending on how long you've been in a relationship. Because me personally, I cringe at when I hear, and I got stories like that too. We've been together for 8 years. I'm really looking forward to that ring. I'm like, why?
well, that just means they're not in the same place.
You're not going to be in 8 years? In 8
Yeah,
years?
the ring ain't coming.
The ring ain't
Yeah.
coming. I don't know what you waiting on. And I'm not even saying break up. I'm not even telling you that. I'm literally not telling
I'm
you
saying
that.
y'all need to get on the same page.
I'm just saying either move your. I'm not saying break up, but either move your levels up or down. And when you move up, mean we're breaking up because I want to get married. It's been 8 years and we're doing it. Move it down as it is what it is. I'm never going to get married, but I want to stay with this person. Move it up or down. Stop wanting something that, hey, come on, that ain't coming. That ain't coming.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I think, and this is a great tangent. I think it's really important for people to recognize that your relationship is what works for you. So, unfortunately, people put the wrong weight on the wrong things, in my opinion. Like, we've been together for 8 years and he hasn't proposed to me. Okay, what is his belief system? Right? Is he the kind of guy who would never cheat on you no matter what? He always comes home to you. You know exactly where he is at all times. You know where his money is. You know how his money moves. He takes good care of you. He treats you right. He does everything that your model husband would do, except he ain't want to go through the courts to make it an official marriage. If that's the case, then you just need to figure out how important is the status to you. Right? Now, if the status is really important to you, then y'all need to have a conversation and get on the same damn page. Right? Because otherwise, you're not going to be fair to him. See, people always look at it as being unfair to her. You're not going to be fair to him. Because odds are, for it to have gone 8 years and you ain't put your foot down yet, you've been kind of playing along, waiting for it to happen. It ain't happening. So, y'all need to go on the same page and figure it out. Because maybe he doesn't think it matters to you anymore. So it's not a clock running in his head no more. Right? To him, we're on the same page. This is my wifey. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think that's important. Because marriage.
You're not funny, Susan. Susan, you're not funny.
I can't read that.
But Molly, you married your stalker.
Oh. Now you gotta let stuff roll. But
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I feel you, bro. But I'm saying, like, that's what the whole thing is. Like, your relationship, a healthy relationship is a healthy relationship. Do you want to be in an unhealthy marriage, or do you want to be in a healthy, but I'm not married? You know, it's hard because society places a lot of weight on you that says you're supposed to do this marriage thing.
Yeah, you have to be careful about that. A lot of ways, shape, or forms. You want to do things because, and Thea's pointed to it, that because you're a good person. If you're doing stuff because of outside analogies of what it should be, like here's my rule on a lot of people's marriage. You can't fix a problem in your marriage going outside your marriage. Now, a lot of people would take that as going to cheat. I say, and also running your damn mouth to your friends and family about what's going on in your house. Everybody has the greatest way of fixing your marriage. You could talk to 5 people, and all 5 people will have 5 different ways to fix your marriage, and all of them are phenomenal to them. But you the one that got to go home and then implement one of those 5. Now, apparently, if you're a dumbass, you would try all 5 of them and then may the best man win. I don't know.
We have a little bit of a difference of opinion there. I think you don't go out and gripe about your other half, but
No, that's what I meant.
I
Gripe.
think, yeah, because I mean, for men, and this is just me talking about just being a man, it's a lonely, lonely job, man. Especially if you, in my opinion, if you're doing it right. Right.
No,
So
no.
if
I
you're
know what
being a
you're saying. I
man
know
by
what
my
you're getting at.
definition,
I know. I'm saying this. If you have that special friend that you grew up with, that you could trust and everything else, you could confide in them, sister, mother, father, everything, that you could confide in them, that you know they have your 2 best interests in heart, not just you, but your best interests in heart. Yes, I don't have a problem with that. But when you,
no, I was going from a slightly different angle. I'm saying from the standpoint of building community, because that's where my heart and my mind is right now. So a lot of men, a lot of black men are struggling from isolation, depression, anger, helplessness, you name it, right? A lot of stuff. And it ends up messing up your relationship. No matter how hard you try to pretend like it ain't bothering you, it's bothering you. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm kind of coming from. So it's like, it's not about, hey, Marlon, this is what, my wife did. It's more like, hey, man, this is what I'm going through. Right? You go to your elders, you go to your circle to help fix you. Right? Stop. Like, don't go run in the streets to help fix her.
okay.
So, go.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I get it now.
Now you're getting at the same place, but you're doing it a different way, right? Because you are also part of the problem, no matter what's going on. You can shine your shiny armor all you want to, but you're part of the problem too. So find out how you can fix you, because what fixing you might mean is not being with her, or fixing you might mean you are not allowing her to feel safe and secure with you. So you're getting the part of her that is defensive towards you. Right. So it's so much in there. But I agree with you. Like, don't go running your mouth in the streets. But I do want brothers to find their circle.
And Facebook. Stop doing your damn marital fights on Facebook.
Yeah, don't do that.
Facebook is not a damn marriage counseling group. And half the
that's
time,
opening the window and yelling.
Half the time we want to say Reddit, because I'm going to do a part probably starting sometime in the fall. There is a Reddit reader like what I put on this show, but I like him so much because he actually he'll read the story and then he'll read the comments after the story. And there's some of them comments is like, I have to go to my black primitive thing and go, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that's
because people say stuff.
Some of the stupidest shit that doesn't even make no sense.
So there's a couple reasons for that, right? One, people like mess. That's why I enjoy interacting with you guys on Reddit. I don't enjoy Reddit, right? Kind of like I don't like, what is that thing called, a strawberry letter, or whatever version morning shows have that they like to, So I don't really so much enjoy those. I enjoy the interactions that we have off of them.
Yeah, I already have
But
that.
people go into the comment section, and because it's anonymous and it's detached, they play their darker selves. Right? They'll say stuff like, end yourself, or, they give you just the worst conceivable, dark, twisted, just, how did you let that, ew. Right? But that's what they do.
Warrior mentality.
Yeah.
You never been in a serious relationship. You don't have 15 million boyfriends or 15 million girlfriends, but you have the greatest advice on how to tell somebody that's been married. Like,
yo, here's a dead giveaway. If somebody is typing about male, female things, and they're typing, and they use women, the word women, when they should have said woman, I'm done reading your comment. Because this always goes left. Always goes left.
Every time, anytime, this is my statement. Anytime the word I comes into effect, when that word comes in, that's when I just know it's going to go left. And if anybody don't understand what I'm saying is, you're the jerk. And I'm just throwing a story out there. You're the jerk. I don't understand. But I don't see why you would be with somebody like that. That's why I'm never going to be with somebody like that. I used to be with somebody like that, and now I'm not. Like, what the fuck? This ain't about you. The whole story didn't have your name in it once. Why the hell are we talking about you? But I, and that's why I would never, and I click. Nope. Nah, bro. No. We don't need, no. Because the ending that I would like to give you, and that's why you're alone. Tell me what I'm saying.
Some people are happy alone.
No, some people need to be alone. Really, I've always felt like some people need to be alone till you get your shit together.
Yeah, some people do.
Be alone. Yeah. Real or nah? Okay, y'all. Y'all sit back because this is almost like this is a little over a 3-minute video. If y'all don't like it and everything else, it's not my fault. Foxy said that she wanted me to put it on the show, so I put it on the show because she told me to put it on the show. But, man, I don't know if this is real or not. I really don't. This falls into the category of I'm kind of hoping that it isn't real. Also, Anna, if you are still watching the show, this is that moving thing in the background, so you may want to put the phone down and just listen. And anybody else who has
sensitivity to the movement.
Sensitive to movement.
This story ended yesterday, but it started around 15 years ago. My parents had a dog by the name of Blinky, the cutest English Cocker Spaniel you'll ever see. They had this from before I was born, so she was always there while I grew up. We lived pretty remote from everything, and my older sister and I didn't get along at all. So for the first 5 or 6 years of my life, I considered Blinky to be my best friend in the world. I don't remember many very specific events with her, but I do remember her always being around and by my side. And by always around, I mean she would even come along when I went to bed or the bathroom. We were perfectly happy. That is until one day my dad pulled a prank on me. And this day I remember very, very vividly. I heard my dad say something to Blinky while he was working in the garden, and I wanted to make fun of him for talking to an animal. But when I tried to, he looked me dead serious in the eyes and told me that of course he talked to Blinky. Why wouldn't he? He then said that Blinky talked to him as well. At first I thought he was joking, but he was so serious about it, and I was young and very stupid. So when he kept at it, I started believing him. When I asked, still wearily, why Blinky didn't talk to me then, he said she was very shy and didn't dare talk to many people. I think he carried on in the garden after that, but I was left dumbstruck. I went on a walk with Blinky and started talking to her, and then began asking her to then eventually begging her to talk to me, telling her that she didn't have to be shy and that I would never make fun of her, trying to help her see that she could trust me. But of course, as you could guess it, Blinky remained silent, and I was hurt. I know it may sound petty, but I was a type of kid who had a very hard time getting over things, and they would probably be very hurt if things went wrong. And this was especially true because my dearest friend in the world wouldn't trust me while she could my dad, with whom she wasn't nearly as close to. So I remember going home and bawling my eyes out that night. And indeed, things didn't get back to the way they were after that. Blinky had shown her true colors apparently, apparently, and I could never fully forgive her or go back to being the closest of buddies like we were before. I didn't hate her or anything like that, and would still occasionally play with her, but the close friendship was over. Some years later, when I was about 11 or 12, Blinky finally did pass away. Something was going on with her kidneys, and she was pretty old by this point. I was pretty sad at the time, because even though we hadn't been that close anymore, she was still our dog. At that time, I didn't actively think about the talking thing that had caused the initial rift, which resulted in my world not really falling apart when she passed away. Fast forward to last night. I'm 20 years old now, and I went home to see my parents, and my older sister was also there. There aren't a lot of times all of us are together anymore, so when that happens, we tend to get a bit nostalgic and talk about memories from when we were younger. Today, for the first time in years, we were talking about Blinky, and the three of them were talking about how great and funny and loyal she was. And I mainly listened until at one point I said without thinking that I didn't really like her that much because she wouldn't talk to me. After I said this, my parents and my sister fell silent. That confused me, bringing my attention to what I had just said. And at that point, it all came together in my head, causing the biggest mind break I've ever had. Only then did I understand my dad's joke and the absurdity of its consequences. Of course, if I had actively thought about it, I would have figured it out way sooner. But the Blinky could talk thing had just been in the back of my head all this time since I was young enough to believe it as a passive piece of truth, which had never been questioned or reviewed again until now. So I explained everything that went along with it, and now because of that, my family has continuously made fun of me ever since. Needless to say, I honestly feel pretty stupid.
This is why you don't homeschool your children.
I mean, I don't even think it was the part about that the dog doesn't speak to him. Okay. But the analogies and the I thought we was better people than that. I thought we was closer than that. But you would rather talk to my dad than me. I thought we was closer than that. It's like, dude.
Nah, Marlon, the dog died when he was like 12. That means this is something that was told to him when he was like 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
So the problem is he wasn't a bright kid. I get that, but he was probably raised to trust whatever his parents say. So it was stuck in his head, and whereas from an adult, you know it's funny and it's just you just having a moment joke with your kid, but your kid is very emotional and not, it's just not there, right? So you did that, didn't think nothing else of it because who would? And then the kid, went about the way. But that's why I said, I know I was being kind of tongue in cheek when I'm like, this is why you don't homeschool your children. But seriously, don't homeschool your children. All right, they need to be socialized because shit like this would have been fixed on the playground. You know what I'm saying? You need.
We don't talked about this for a while now. Free range kids, don't do it. Don't.
Your kids need more than you. Hard for you to hear this, parents, but it's the truth. You so scared of the world, you're trying to keep your kids away from the world, and then you can end up with a kid that their naivety of youth creates a dumbass adult. You know what I'm saying? This is stuck with this person till they were grown and they ended up, it's just silly. But I think it's real because I could definitely see how this could happen, especially to a young child, because like my kids, when they're, because I force my kids to challenge me, but still, my youngest, whatever I say is gospel. And all three of them were that way when they were at that age, and then I started bringing them out of it. So this child is at that stage where whatever dad said, it's what it was. And since dad didn't break character, he did it with a straight face.
Well, that never been this family. I mean, trust me, it's we. Because I done told them a long time ago, I ain't right on every damn thing. So everything that I'm giving you right now is, I mean, now don't get me wrong. If it's factual facts that I know, yes. But you got to
But I'm
realize,
talking about from the standpoint of a second grader.
yeah, if it's facts of facts, then yeah. But, and I don't know. I've never went your route of telling them to always challenge me. But I've always said, you know, you really need to stand up for what you feel is right. Even
I mean, it ain't like gladiator school where we just walk down the hall and pick fights with each other. I'm saying it's like,
yeah, no, not that. No, what I'm saying is
it's always a matter of, I believe, and I think you've heard me say this before, I consider myself to be a leader. Okay, I lead my house, I lead my family, and I lead people outside of here as well. So to me, if you fashion yourself a leader, you have to be able to be questioned.
yes.
Have to. So I raise my children where we will, like, just randomly, I'll just pick the opposite end of an argument just to do it. And have them stand on their own and push back against me. And I just think it's a great thing. And now my eldest one should definitely give me a run for my money. And my middle one, by the time she finishes high school, I'm in trouble. So, you know, but that's what I want. I want them to be intelligent, and I want them to be tacticians when it comes to how they interact with people. And nobody can tell you who you are because you've already looked into your soul and you know who you are. And you know how to stand up for yourself without having to put hands on people. You know, but of course, if it comes to that, you got to do that too. But yeah.
There are ways of writing comments that listen is not easy, but if you're in listening mode, you avoid the worst egocentric and bigoted remarks. YouTube have an algorithm that I probably need to set up because I'm going on vacation soon. So yeah, y'all gonna get a whole bunch of replays. That you can put the algorithm where you can put certain words in that when you type those words into the system, it won't into the comments, it won't print. I wonder if that's what Anna, no, because I haven't got it set up. I don't know what Anna's issue is. Y'all do talk.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
that's a level of censorship right there, bro.
Yeah,
but I get it though, because some comments you don't want sitting on your platform.
Well, you know, when I do the premiere thing, when I do premieres, I literally, I do a replay, but I put it as a premiere so people can still do comments. I still have to monitor it just in case somebody comes in there and say something stupid. But I want to get to the point where it's like I put a premiere on, but I'm on vacation. I want to chill out. I don't want to be watching the show.
Oh, yeah, then don't do it as a premiere, bro. Because why have because the comment thread doesn't save that I'm aware of. So
it don't, no.
Okay. So yeah, because if you're not going to be there to see it, you end up missing out on that anyway. You know? So yeah, but I feel you though. Like my big thing is when people put some of those really just horrible comments on a video just because they can. You know?
Yeah.
Now you got to go back and delete them, and it's annoying.
And I don't even understand that. Like, I'm going to delete them. Like, I honestly really like to take the people to the side and go, what did you think you was going to get from it? It's literally an individual enjoyment because this shit is not funny. You're purposely being brutal. And honestly, if you're doing it, again, if you got to make yourself feel better, if you got to make yourself feel up to put somebody down, you still ain't shit. I mean, I'm sorry to have to tell you that, but you're not. You're really not. You're not shit. I mean, you are shit. If you have to make somebody lower than you to make yourself feel better, somebody should have told you.
If you get pleasure from inflicting pain, that's the problem.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You
And I
somebody
know
should
there's
have told
those
me this a long time ago.
S&M people out there that be like, no, don't be kink shaming. Yeah, I think something a
But
little wrong with y'all
shut
too.
up.
But do your thing.
You know, man. Did he not have friends with dogs? We don't know because we don't. He may have been homeschooled, like what Thea said. So
They say he was raised, out the way or whatnot, in remote areas, so he might not have had anybody but his sister. And he said he had no good relationship with her.
if this is real, the OP had some things to work out. He had some abandonment issues. You're right, Theas. When they're under school age, you have to be very careful what you say because it sticks. At some point, you have to get them to question you, right? Because okay, sorry. I'm learning to have the tough conversations. That's my 2023 thing that I've been doing. The tough conversations that you have to have. And the environment that we're going through right now, in a way, parents, your ass ain't fucking always right. You're probably not always the best environment for your child. I mean, and I'll give you a hint on if you are the right environment for your child. If you always see issue, always, that's your reason for being in that child's life. Always see issues, and you're protecting them from everything. Always there's a problem. Always there's an issue. Always there's an enemy. You're not the right environment to be. I'm talking to people that like to homeschool. You're not it.
If you homeschooling because your community has been victimized by a gun, shooting at the school, I could see that reaction. You are homeschooling because your child has, been bullied severely, you know what I'm saying? Because every school, every grade has those one or two kids that just catch hell every day, right? So I could see that. But if you're homeschooling because you want to control what type of information they
right.
get access to, if you want to homeschool because you want to keep them in the bubble, right? You're afraid that if they deal with non-believers, that they'll be corrupted or whatnot. And I'm just like, you you're wrong. And I know you're gonna say I'm wrong for saying you're wrong, but really you are wrong
You're wrong.
because God didn't, not that I'm aware of, did he say take your child and hide them under a bush? You know what I'm saying? It's like hiding your talents. You're not supposed to do that. Teach your child, prepare your child. You have your belief system, teach them so that when they go out into the world, they can test the world against their beliefs, and then if and it'll win out, right? If it's right, it'll win out, But I get it. Being a parent, it's scary. It really is. But do you want them to be prepared for this world so that they can function? Or do you want for the first time when you're not around, because one day you won't be, that they break because they never got the tools?
I've said this to so many parents, and I learned it the hard way. It didn't happen to me. I've just seen a lot of friends and family when their kids go off to college and they butt fucking wild. And then you sit them down and go, why are you acting like this? You didn't act like this at home, but then you get I didn't get to do this, and 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 I never heard about this, and I didn't even knew this existed, and blah, 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 and everything else. And then I got into the world off under my parents, and boom, you doing some of the most dangerous crap you've ever done in your life because you didn't know it was dangerous. Nobody ever told you these things. Your kids are not going to be perfect. Tell you that off now. I raised 5. No, damn well, none of mine is perfect. But if the best product that we don't put out there, and I've always told them, you ain't all. Look, I hate to tell you this, sweetie. I years, like 10 years ago. Sorry, so this is not brand new but I remember having a talk with one of my daughters and told them, who the hell says you always got to be happy about a situation? That's not how this works. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to get through some things, fair or unfair. You just have to figure out how you gonna get through it, because that's my job. I have to just get you through it. But I can't protect you from everything. That's not realistic. I can't. Nobody can. I'm a grown woman. I'm a grown man. And my mom is still alive. She can't protect me from everything.
That's why I take the approach that I take, man. Because I'm like, I am very protective. I am very overprotective of my girls. I ain't gonna lie. But I make sure that I push them to challenge and think and weigh consequences and all of those things, because I can't live your life for you, right? My job as a parent isn't to keep you from making mistakes. My job is to protect you or keep you from making the mistakes that you can't come back from, right? So in order to do that, I can't raise you like sex doesn't exist. No, I'm going to teach you what to be aware of, what the dynamics are of an overarching level of what's just, how to protect you. I can't act like drugs don't exist, right? I'm not going to, I told my girls, even though I didn't do drugs growing up, I told them, I was like, look, people are going to tell you that drugs are fun and they feel good. Guess what? They do. The problem is you cannot beat a chemical. So how a chemical affects your friend does not mean that's how it's going to affect you. So once you put that into you, once you introduce that into your world, into your vessel, you don't know the reaction. And it's out of your control at that point. So I just want you to think, right? Look at the people who are doing the things that you say you want to do, because there's nothing new under the sun. Look at the people who have done the things that you think and that you want to do, and then ask yourself, is that the life you want? And then you move. I give that advice to people about marriage, and people say I'm wrong, though. No. They're like, hey, man, should I get married? I'm like, this is my advice to young men, because I can't tell women what to do on this one. I'm like, fellas, this is what I want you to do. I want you to look around all the guys your age, that are married. Don't look at me. Don't look at your daddy, your uncles. Look at the guys your age that are married. How many of them are happy? Because see, you pick a circle that's a lot like you. So if your whole circle ain't nobody happy, not saying you can't be, just saying the odds ain't in your favor, dog.
You know what? Now, see, that I would take a different take on.
I'm sure you would. Most people don't like the way I put that, but I'm just I would rather fewer people get married than more people get married if you ain't ready for it, because this shit's hard. You know what I'm saying? It could be some of the greatest experience of your life, but it's going you up. So
this is my take on that. Do you want to change because of your circle? You want to change your mind, sorry. You want to change your mind about marriage because of your circle? Or do you need to change your circle?
Well, that's not always the case.
I don't know, because if I'm
That's why I'm saying you look at the grouping, not like
I need you to
two
look at your
friends.
group. I need you to look at your group real quick. Not you,
Right.
Theo. I'm saying in general.
But I'm saying you chose your group.
Yeah, and that's my problem. You literally chose a group of, and I'm going with your analogy. You literally chose a group of people who are in a marriage that they're not happy in.
No, you didn't. You chose a group. These are your friends. Some are married, some are not.
Keep talking.
Right? These are your friends. Some of them got married. Right? So I'm not saying go get some married friends and then see what the sample shakes out. It's more of you already have the friends. They're living their lives. But your circle is a bit of a reflection of yourself. It's not who you are. So it's not determinative of what you'll get. But just look at it and ask yourself, okay, what are the odds it's going to work out for me? Or is that the way I want it to be? And you got two ways to go from that point. Either one, you move ahead and you go ahead with this marriage thing because you know this is right for you. But then you need to be assessing what kind of a partner you're going to be, because you might need to do some growing really, really fast, right? Or you look and you be like, maybe this just isn't I'm not mature enough for this yet, right? So that's the point I'm trying to get at Marlon, is because it's not determinative. Like you can have 8 friends that are married and 7 out of 8 of them are just horribly miserable. And then you get married and you have the most wonderful marriage in the world because you did better math, you got a better pairing, you got a better match, But you're playing odds.
See, but that again, that's what I'm saying is I would not want your decision to get married, to take a job, to move to another state, whatever, to be determined on your circle of friends. You have to do.
It's not determinative.
How is it not determined? You said it's determined.
No, I said this is not determinative. I'm saying you look at it and you play the odds. You could win. You could beat the house. Might not. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is just make sure you've taken a real assessment of whatever it is you're trying to do. Like if you're going to move to another state, like let's say that, let's use that. You're going to move to another state because things ain't really working out where you at.
Hold on for a second, because these two damn people getting on my nerve. Yes, I did say grown woman. That was a mistake. He is Parker. I heard him say it. And before they was ready for it, they have another generation of tease. But Parker is laughing at me. And now Etta is saying, Marlon be ignoring us, baby boy. LOL. I am not ignoring you. I heard myself define myself as a grown woman. I know it was a mistake. Theus, please move on.
I'm good. I ain't got nothing to say, bro. I was just trying to clarify that point we were talking about. Like, I'm not saying that what your friends are doing is what you're going to get that outcome.
But you're using it as odds.
Not what I'm saying. Right.
Yeah.
Because you have a shared personality. I mean, there's things about you that match up, or else this wouldn't be your circle. You're not the same as your friends, so you won't have the same outcome as your friends. But you playing odds. That's all. You run with a really mature group of friends that about their business and they focus and they're good, relationship type guys. You probably have a lot of good relationships around you. But you said change your circle. Well, if you chose the first circle, what you gonna do with the new circle? What, you gonna be the one knucklehead and the rest of them are good? Now you the outlier.
Right.
It's not as easy to just do that. You can't run from who you are. You need to fix who you are.
Foxy's videos of the week. I'm not even gonna take us down because it's only 11 seconds. I just found this funny as hell.
What was that?
The glasses.
She came out with the wine bottles and the glasses.
Got a corner with the wine glasses.
That lady.
One more time.
That's cute.
Oh God. They go roll. Marlon, as a grown woman, you may want to lose a mustache or not. No. Take me for how I am.
Just the way God made me. There you go.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. That was so weird. LOL. That was cute. Now I have to explain it to mom. It was just funny as crap to me because it's like I don't even know why it was funny. It was just funny as crap to me.
Yeah, I think it was cute, but I guess I didn't quite. Yeah, but it was cute though.
It was
It was
cute.
a good concept type thing. I was looking at how nice that person's house is.
Right? Big ass door. Next video. Yeah, we've held these conversations with our people. I'm pretty sure that the white community has held this conversation with their people. Yeah, don't do this, man. Y'all need to do better.
Today, you have $244.27 worth of debt. Oh, you thought you was good? Nah, go ahead and cook that.
Was she about to make some ramen?
Until she heard the amount that it was in her account, that she thought was in her account.
Oh, poor thing.
And I would tell you exactly where this came from, why I had to share this video. Held this conversation earlier with my daughter and some of her friends. Y'all tax return is not a free check. Y'all get y'all tax returns and y'all act a damn plum monkey. Y'all buy stuff that you know you normally don't buy. You get that car that you know damn well that you can't pay the monthly payments on. But simply because you got enough money to put a down payment on it, let's go for it. So you can look cool as hell for 90 days. Stop doing that shit, people. For real. Stop it. That's why you wind up constantly always being in debt. Why you constantly always have to keep paying somebody else. That's why you constantly can't own. Not paying on. Own. Me and Thea's. Tracy now can say we own our house. Now we're still paying a mortgage, but you get my point. We're not throwing money to a realtor to make them richer. We're putting money into a house so eventually we'll own it.
Well, I have a difference of opinion here, but yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I agree with you about the car thing. Like just because you got $3,000 came into your pocket, so you're gonna go and get a car that your normal extra income is like $50 a month, and you went and got a car that next month you got to start paying $400 a month for. Don't do that. Don't do that. But I am one who says, especially for young people, enjoy your youth, within reason. So let's say you get a $3,000 check and you're otherwise reasonably responsible. Go to that concert. Go buy those shoes.
Go on that vacation.
Go do that. Yeah, do that thing, because you're not gonna get that money back if it's already outside of your normal like weight class, right? Like, you only see this money once a year. And as you get older, you start to learn that the main reason you get a tax return is because you broke, right? Because once you start getting some more money in your pocket, them tax returns get real skinny if they show up. So, enjoy your youth within reason. What I would love to see people do, and I didn't find a way to do this back when I was in sales, because it's just so hard to cut through to people. But you get your tax return. This is my advice to you, if you'll hear me. You get your tax return, and let's just say that your tax return is $2,000. First thing I want you to do is take that $2,000, and I want you, if you don't already have life insurance, I want you to go buy a life insurance policy. And I want you to get, if you're single, you got no kids, no dependents, no nothing like that, get you a life insurance policy. I would tell you what kind, but I'm not able to do that because I hold a license and they could get issues with me giving you advice like that. Go get you your insurance. Pay for the whole year. Don't pay month to month. Pay the whole year. Get it out the way. So that next year when you get your tax return, you just do it again, right? Let your tax return pay for your life insurance so it's not coming out your paycheck. And then the rest of it, put some aside. You know how you living. You know you running short in your bank account every month and paying 2 late fees. Well, if you're paying 2 late fees, you need to figure out how much money is triggering you to go into these late fees, because you're probably running short by something silly, right? Like what I used to see people when I was a banker is not the $300 bill that you forgot about that gave you an overdraft fee. It's the $12 purchase at Burger King that got you the overdraft fee. So get you a little money set in the savings and use that as your cushion for as long as that cushion can last you. And then take whatever's left, blow it. Whatever you're going to do. Have fun with it. Go to the strip club. Go eat all the food that you normally don't get to go eat. I don't give a damn. Enjoy your youth. Enjoy your time. And eventually, like I'm in my 40s, okay? So I didn't get my house until I was in my 30s. So
late 40s.
You can't be me if you're not where I'm at yet, right? You got to function where your money is, how your family structure is. All those things got to come in place. But that's me, And I know I'm kind of in the minority. A lot of people don't really rock with it the way I look at it.
No, I get what your point is, because if I was to simplify it, okay, I'm about to say dumb it down, but I don't like using that word because it's like, you so stupid. I don't want to be that person. To simplify it, take care of your business first. What's ever left over, knock yourself out. Have a ball. Now, me personally, I would kind of want to look and go, that's not really extra money. Okay. Your
I'm trying
tax,
to put it in the viewpoint of when you're in your 20s
yeah, I know.
and you ain't got much money.
I know. I just want to tell everybody that that return, that check that you getting, your tax return, that's not extra money. That's an overpayment, and you're not really getting all that overpayment back. So, me personally, I would do my best to try to figure out how to not trigger that. But Theus is right. We're talking to people that are in their 20s. They ain't listening to me on that crap.
And odds are, if you're young and getting a couple $1,000s in a tax return, you don't make no money.
No.
Right? Because at up to a certain point, you get money back just because the government knows you need this to survive, right? You getting other people's money. That's not your money that came back to you. That's my money that came back to you. You know what I'm saying? You know, the government send you this money because one, and this is why I wish the government would actually take more of this as a position, but unfortunately it's run by rich people, so they don't have the incentive to do this. But that's actually a good concept where you send money to the people at the lowest end of the economic ladder, because 90% of what they spend is consumer goods. Like, it goes right into the economy. You know, no breaks, no pause, straight back into the economy. That money hits their account and it's back in the streets the next day. But you give me a couple $1,000s, half of it's going to come to the streets.
Right.
The other half is going to get deployed somewhere else for me.
Okay. Here is the difference between 20s and your 40s and your 50s. Some, but if you've been on this show long enough, you know we don't deal in absolute. So I'm not going to sit there and go, but not everybody. But I'm not that person. I don't deal in absolutes. I don't have time for that. We already did a 4-hour damn show last week. It'd have been a 5-hour show. Not everybody, but some people, but not
you wear blue shoes.
Not you, but you. But not you. You cool. Fuck you, but you cool. I'm not doing that. Okay. What I'm saying is the 20s and 40s and 50s year old. The 20s is living it up. Nothing wrong with that. I did it. And I'm sorry. Let me go back. The $2,000.
I wish I could have done it better.
and that's my point, because that's a lot what people when they get into their 40s would say. Damn, boy, if I would have invested that. Do you know how many times I've sat there? My daughter got me a new lounge chair, a vibrating lounge chair for Father's Day. Thank you, sweetie. You know how many times I sat there with, if I can go back in time, I would have told my mom, when Apple comes out, invest as much money as you can into it. As much money. Don't say a word, just do it. And yeah, there's going to be a point where it's going to go really low and it's going to look like it's going out of style and going out of bit. Don't you touch that money. Don't you touch it. Don't touch it.
Marlon, check this out. Apple, Amazon, like these big ones that you look back at, and it's like, whoa, they made people instant millionaires. The people who could even participate had money anyway, because the money was so expensive to get involved, right?
No, that's why I literally went back to Apple. That's why I went way back to Apple.
Yeah. No, I'm heading somewhere with it though.
Oh, okay.
Remember the time value of money example I shared with y'all a little while ago when we were talking about the house. Now, the interest rate that I was talking about there is 7.5% return. Okay? So that you can find that kind of a rate of return on things like index funds and very simple things to get into. So now, my 20-somethings, you get that I use an example of 5,000, but use any number. You take that 2,000 and you put that into an index fund or some other type of investment that's very secure and safe and low risk. Talk to a professional. Anyway, You do that, and you getting 7%. So it's doubling every 7 years, wasn't it? Yeah, it was about 7 years. So it's doubling like every 7 years. So if you were 20, so when you're 27, that's at 4,000. You're 34, you're at 8,000. You're at 42. Here you are walking around with $16,000 off of something you did back there. What can you do with $16,000? You could get your child ready to head off to college because you might have one by then. You could get you a car, a nice car, and do a down payment that makes your car payment still cheap to you. You can accelerate your mortgage. You can leave it alone because you still got 40 more years of living to do.
Yeah. And that was my point. That was my point. Was when you're in your 20s, that's what your mindset is. I can get this, I can get that, I can get whatever. When you get in your 40s and 50s, and this, tell me if I'm lying. When you get a $2,000 check, hey, okay, we can pay off this. We can pay off this. We can build this that we've been wanting to put on this house for the longest damn time.
What can I get rid of?
What can I
about?
That's the difference. You're adding to your, and I don't want to say it because I'm not trying to bash you. It is really not bashing because I've been in my 20s. I done some stuff like this, so I'm just telling you from experience. When you're in your 20s and you get $2,000, your whole mentality is I'm going to look fine and fly and cool and good looking and go to the biggest places and look big. Man, I'm going to be, woo, you can't stop me now. When you get to your 40s and 50s, hey, we can finally pay off that credit card. Hey, we can finally get them gutters that we always wanted that need to be on here. I can finally finish my debt. Man, you know what? Do you know how long it's been since I had a tune-up on that car? Boy.
Well, Marlon, but like you said, it's different life stages, right? Because they exist. Don't get me wrong; these 20-somethings do exist, but those 20-somethings probably don't have a very good social life. That would be the one that's saying, you know, I really should change the gutters right now. You know.
Well, it is very few and far
But
between.
those are also the ones 20 years later that you call sir or ma'am.
You know, it's very few and far between. Like I said, I don't play it absolute, but it's few and far between. It's hard for a 20-year-old to say, man, I need to go change them gutters when you don't have gutters. Welcome to America. Yeah. It's kind of
rough out here.
Kind of really hard to change something on the house with you don't.
Yeah, it's hard out here, man. It's hard, especially for these young people.
It's
you got young people starting at twice what we started at, but the house is 3 times as expensive.
Right.
So they still can't get nothing.
That's why I don't even listen to these guys that's in their 70s and 80s, 20-year-olds. I'm telling you off the top of my, please stop listening to great granddad and great grandma. How you don't have a house yet? When I was your age, I was in the house. Great grandma, your house cost $5,000. Shit, you should have had a house by then. At this point in my life, sorry, great grandma. At this point in my house, $5,000 can't even give you a good damn apartment in New York.
New York, nothing. They can't get you in a lot of places. You can get the first, because the apartment complex is going to say, I want first and last month rent.
Right.
Okay, there's your $5,000.
$5,000 right now. We bills.
Ooh,
not even touching bills.
Bad.
Your light bill, your water bill, your gas bill.
Yeah.
Your
my
internet.
first apartment that I had to myself. Now I was in college and I went to school in South Georgia, so everything's relative, right? Costs are different. But I paid less than $450 a month for my rent. You know what I'm saying? And then I got a house, and it was at like 500. So I mean that, and that was in like 2000. Okay, so it's only been 20 years, and it's triple.
And security.
Yep.
First month rent, last month rent, and security. Yep.
And they got the audacity to say they want you to earn 3 times what the rent is, because there's this old rule that comes out of the 70s and 80s that says that you shouldn't spend more than 30% on your housing. And that's true. If you can spend 30% or less on your housing, then you have enough money left to actually function and not be in a desperate situation. The problem is you're not getting paid in such a way that you make 3 times the rent, right? Because I mean, to get an apartment nowadays that's not going to put you in an area that you don't want to be in, you're talking anywhere between $1,500 and $2,500 a month here in Atlanta, anyway. So, who's making 3 times that at 20 years old? There's a few, but most people ain't. So it's such a messed up system that we function under.
I'm just curious. The average monthly rental price for a studio apartment in New York, $3,500.
Yeah.
And
that's you, 4 walls, and your bed is right by the kitchen.
Your at an average price per square foot is $89.13 per square foot. Let's go to LA. LA is $2,781.
Yeah, I don't believe that number.
See, great grandma, you have all the I get it. I really do. I get
Great grandma went to college for that amount of money.
You could take $5,000. Her daddy saved $5,000 to send her all 4 years of college.
Yep.
She bought her brand new car for $2,000.
Yeah, it's a different time.
$2,000 is a good well, $2,000 was a damn good down payment in my time. I don't know if it's a damn good down payment now, so who knows?
Yeah, I don't even know.
So
I got my cars paid for, and I was just like, "Yep, yeah, this is what we're gonna do."
All my cars are paid for, and it's done. And woo,
I'm keep patching them up and driving them down.
You think I ain't when I will? Hold on, let me get these comments out of the way. OMG, my first studio apartment was $395 with a $50. Woo, feels $50 deposits. Hot diggity.
Yeah, that's some 1995, 2000 numbers right there.
You ain't seeing $50 deposits no more. You can borrow $50 from somebody to put a deposit.
Yeah, you ain't getting that.
You ain't getting that now. No.
So yeah, it's a different time. So it's good to give people, the young people, the advice as far as how to manage money, right, how to forecast and budget. Like those skills are the same now as they were in 1925. But don't pretend like the cost of goods and the cost of services are anywhere near relative. Because yes, back then minimum wage was like 75 cents an hour. I get it. But you were still trying to chase a $2,000 price tag. Whereas now these young people are making $100,000 a year, and it still doesn't allow them to not have a roommate. That's rough.
Not really. If I had to give you advice, and I'm just going by experience because I don't want to poison the well when I say this, try not to get a roommate. I had one
roommates are cool. My best friend was my roommate.
It sucked rocks. I just, it was terrible.
I had a couple bad ones in college, but when I was out on my own, well, I've only had two. You know, I've been married my whole life, but my roommate fresh out of college was my best friend from high school. And then I had my own place for a few years. And then I got married again. And I've had a roommate ever since. You're muted. Nobody knows what you're saying, sir.
I just caught that. Last video of the night. Because unfortunately I got to get up early in the 10 o'clock. That's early for me on a Saturday.
Yeah, I'll be up by 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, that ain't me. Last video tonight, Joseph and Mary. You remember them? They actually birthed Jesus.
Because that fetus might be a Jesus.
Well, their fetus actually wasn't Jesus. But I just found this so damn funny as hell.
Here you are, baby. Fresh baked pie, just for you.
Where did you get this?
I baked it from scratch.
We don't have an oven.
God helped me.
Joseph, please.
You see how that sounds, Mary?
I'm not gonna blaspheme nobody today, boy, but I feel you, Joseph. That's what I'd have been like. You think I'm some kind of boo-boo the fool? Okay.
Oh, you know Tracy is on the other side, just screaming her head,
shaking her head at us. She's shaking her head at us, but it's all right.
You know what? I just can't.
You see how that sounds?
Oh God, boy! When I saw that video,
okay. Where did you get that? But we don't have a stove.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. Let's do that one more time, just in case anybody, because we haven't heard from Tracy yet. So, yeah, yep, never mind. Shaking my
head. Say, bruh?
No, shaking my head. All right, one more time.
Here you are, baby. Fresh baked pie, just for you.
Where did you get this?
I baked it from scratch.
We don't have an oven.
God helped me.
Joseph, please.
You see how that sounds, Mary?
Oh, never should have gave some of y'all the internet. Ooh.
Oh my God. I've seen so many memes. I saw one meme where Joseph told everybody, "We're having a baby." Really? Yep. God blessed Mary with a baby. So it's not your baby? No, it came from God. And the meme had one of the guy who was looking at him like,
yeah. That's when you look at everybody else in the room like, should we tell them?
You gonna tell them? Who gonna tell them?
But hey, the beautiful thing is, because this isn't blasphemous or whatever. The beautiful thing is the virgin birth is in like all the major religions. Christianity does not own that concept. In fact, they kind of stole it. Virgin birth is in Greek mythology. virgin birth was in the African lore beforehand. It's just,
I
so that's
got a
why I take it
the
on a topical level, and it was fun.
I got a friend named Al. Oh my God. Al literally, I gotta call him back tomorrow. Forgot to call him back. Oops. I think I answered this question though. Al is a filmmaker. Yeah, what's funny was the last time I got on the phone with him, his next film is people who do podcasts. That's me shit. But my point was, he literally showed me word for word. He said, you can pick out any book in the Bible, and I will show you where the Romans and the everybody else had that same story. Egyptians, that was his biggest thing. The Egyptians had the story before this book, word for word. And I was like, okay, and I did it, and sure enough,
Hate to tell you, Europeans steal everything.
I mean, it was
Europeans steal everything. Everything. That's everything.
Everything. Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. But see, this is why my religion, my faith, is so compatible with everybody else's for the most part. Because I say it as a joke, but I really do think that this is kind of how it went down, right? God has the truth, because God is the truth, right? The creator, all of creation, right? So God calls together his four most honest, his favorites, right? So, and he said, you know what? I am going to give you the truth. And he told all four of them at the same time, the whole truth. But you know what happens when you tell multiple people something? One of them went off to create Judaism. One went off to create Buddhism. One went off to create Islam, But the underlying truth still will bring you back to creation. It still brings you back to loving each other. It still brings you back to being caretaker. They all bring you back. That's why I don't care what you believe in. I want to know what you're going to do.
I look at the Bible. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I look at the New Testament. Y'all, other than the 10 Commandments out of the Old Testament, I'm not feeling you on absolutely anything out of the Old Testament. You can use the Genesis and creation of the
Psalms,
world.
Proverbs, those really pretty good.
No.
The Bible is an amazing self-help book. I think it's very inspirational.
That's what I was
teach you phenomenal.
But I'm more New Testament. I'm literally more to New Testament.
Well, that's because New Testament is much more warm and fuzzy.
It was. Old Testament.
It had a lot in there too, though. It had some stuff in there too, but it was more warm and fuzzy because it was about Jesus.
Yeah, I'm good with you killing a whole bunch of kids because they was picking on a bald man. I'm good. Oh yeah, look it up. God killed a bunch of kids.
The one that always got me was when God did the whole psych your mind. He was like, I want you to take your son that you love more than anything else in this world, and I want you to go up there and I want you to sacrifice him to me. So I want you to do a human sacrifice because that is your greatest love. And then right before you do it, I got you.
No,
we good, man. Look, I got you. You and your family, y'all gonna be big. Y'all gonna be doing big things. You're gonna do big things.
No, because the only
what kind of mind fuck is that?
The only thing that killed me on that a little bit was I'm just messing with you, dude. Don't kill your son. I'm gonna go ahead and trap that ram in the bush, sacrifice that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you already got me mentally.
Why we
I'm
still
in a
standing
mental
there?
space where I was about to kill this kid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No. Go ahead and get that ram that I trapped in the bushes. And the ram probably looking at it like, what the fuck? I just hell.
yeah, it's wild, man. When you get to reading, if you're reading it literally and you're not picking up on the messaging, boy, it's a wild ride. It's a wild
It is.
ride.
New Testament, everybody. I'm sorry. Now, trust me, when you get to Revelations, you're probably gonna look at me like, Ballin, shut the fuck up, because this ain't cool. I get it. There's some stuff in that.
I never got into the book of Revelation. Probably because, you know, I grew up in that old Baptist thing that said that you don't really read that too much. So I don't know. I just never got into it.
Ooh, I had to dwell in.
No, there's like a school of thought that basically says unless you are really steeped in the word, you don't touch that book because you can get distracted or led astray because it'll go over your head, right? Now, I don't really believe in all of that, but I do see where the messaging can come from because I do believe that when you are reading the Bible, the Quran, whatever your religious text is, the reason why it's always saying something different to you every time you pick it up is because it's written in such a way that you can always attach yourself to something and get something out of it that can help you. So if you are still on milk, like the Jesus story to me is milk, right? The resurrection and the call to discipleship, that's like bread. And then the book of Revelation, the meat, right? You can't give a baby meat. You gotta help them,
what I mean?
Grow.
Okay. The church that I went to, we really did have to study Revelations. I mean, they really had a class on Revelations, and y'all, if y'all can find a church like this, cool. I haven't seen it lately because y'all use Revelations like they're here now. But
that's one reason I never messed with it because people always go to the doomsday theory. We're in the last days. We've been in the last days since the first day, the way y'all talk.
Our Revelations was for a warning. Like, I want you to study Revelations as a warning. Like, when you see this, then you know this is going to happen. So I need you to study Revelations. And I'm studying Revelations backwards and forwards. And trust me, when you really study Revelation, we ain't nowhere near the crap that's in that book. Trust me.
But
you think you are? Look, if you looked at Obama as the Antichrist, shut the fuck up if you know about the Bible. It ain't that's what that was.
That's one of my issues with religious people. There's a certain level of arrogance that religion puts into you, where everybody thinks their generation is that magical generation, right? Horrible things happen all the time throughout history. So like I remember when we were going through what was it, the Middle Eastern War, Desert Shield, right? Those ones. And people were talking about these are the last days because the war's kicking off in the Middle East and this is it. But I'm like, bad as this is, why do you think these are the last days? Because I'm pretty sure the people who lived through World War II and the Great Depression, pretty sure they thought they were in the last days. Pretty sure the people in the Dust Bowl might have thought they were in the last days. Pretty sure the people in slavery thought these were some last days. So it's like, if you, and I hate that we always end up here, but
we're
believe,
we're not even going to talk about the Great Depression where people literally committed unaliving because they couldn't handle
because of money and stuff. You know, meanwhile, it was Tuesday for us. It was Tuesday.
Pretty much, yeah.
But
y'all was going through some emotional roller coaster of feelings that you couldn't handle, so you decided to throw yourself out of a glass window, which, by the way, thank you very much, because that's why they double pane glass windows and put plastic in the middle, so you actually can't even do that anymore. I'm being facetious, but that literally, I listened to a builder. That literally is the reason why they do it now.
They do reinforced glass, so they got to.
They do reinforced glass because of it.
Yeah, but I'm with you. But I'm just saying, it's like, I got into this conversation once with one of my dear relatives who is very much into that whole, you know. And I'm like, but if you believe, you actually believe, not you say you believe, but that quiet conversation that you can have only with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you truly believe that God is what you say God is and heaven is what you say heaven is, why are you always so afraid? Because if you truly believe that the other side is better than this side, you wouldn't be afraid. You wouldn't run from conflict. You wouldn't do any of those things. You would just move on along your life, trusting God. And if you died, and you would count it as a blessing, right? But you don't, which is proof that you don't really believe the way you say you do. And then, if God is the author and the finisher, and he knows your steps, he knows before you even get there, and you trust him, again, why are you doing some of the stuff you're doing? It just doesn't, the math ain't math then.
I read a Reddit story the other day. I don't know how true it is, because take my word for it, people. Reddit is one of the places where people can give their experiences in life, or they come up with the best authors on the planet. So we don't know which direction this is. But there was a story where a guy said is an atheist. And I'm cool with them people too. I'm not controller of you. Sorry, I'm just not. I'm not that person. You respect me, I respect you, and we're done. But he was an atheist, and he told. I don't know if he told somebody or the story got out that he was an atheist. And the woman said, "Wait, you don't believe in God?" And he was like, "No, I don't believe in those type of things." Well, wait a minute. If you don't believe in God, why you don't R-word people? Why you don't unalive people? Why you don't rob people? And the guy looked at her and go, "Because I'm a good person. That's disgusting. I don't want to do that." And the reason I'm telling that story is because I don't want people to keep thinking that the only reason people are not doing the things that they know is wrong is because they try to get to heaven. There are people who don't do things wrong because they don't want to do things that are wrong.
But religion will teach you to be afraid. Like, I listened to some of the lessons. See, you would think that I wouldn't even let my kids go through church and stuff, but I do. I let them go to Sunday school, go to church, all that. Because one, it helped form and fashion much of my moral code, which I believe and hold strong to. But then also, I want you to hear what people are saying. I want you to, because like I said, I teach them to challenge things, right? So when you're hearing something and it sounds batshit crazy, I need you to be able to identify that for yourself. Right? Like, that don't make sense. Sell me your belief system without using fear.
No, I agree with you.
And it can be very hard to do.
I agree with you, Theus. That's not how I grew up, though. That's not how I grew up. I can tell you, I get exactly what you said, and I'm going to totally agree with you. That was just
God's always watching you.
Nope.
You breaking God's heart.
Nope.
You the sin, the sinning and the filthy rags and all. There's so much negative messaging And at the same time, you also hear God is love
But here, I
and
always grew up
fruits
with
of the
this.
spirit. So
I always get this when you know damn well you can't answer the question. I know now. I mean, I knew then too, but I just didn't want to question it because of they're adults and they're the elders, and you listen to them BS. You just gotta have faith, honey. You just gotta have faith. If your
but
faith
that's
was a little
where
strong,
people default to when they don't have an answer for you.
thank you. That was my point. That is literally my point. When they don't have an answer to your question, when you question what's going on, honey, you just gotta have faith. If your
That's when you
faith
get,
was a
oh,
little
ye of
stronger,
little faith.
if your
Right? They
faith
give you
was a
the they
little
give you
stronger,
the they give
it
you the
took me a
Jesus
while to
lecture
grow
from the
up to
boat.
realize, wait a minute. So you said if I have faith, I don't have questions? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. And then you're literally saying that if I had enough faith, I would not have questions.
Right, because you would trust.
So now I'm a grown man and going, the math ain't mathing, bro. The math ain't mathing. If you're big and bold, and you're talking your crap, cool beans. I'm gonna listen to you. Just make it make sense to me. That's all I'm asking you.
Yeah, I'm with you. Because like this, faith is important, right? You need faith.
Yeah.
Faith is important, but faith is not the whole solution, right? I believe, and I teach my children, and God can correct me when it's time for Him to correct me, him or her, or it, however God defines itself.
Tracy is going to bed. Good night, Tracy. Sorry.
Good night, Tracy. But I'd say my God is big enough to be questioned, because there's no question I could ever possibly come up with that's too big for my God. That's how I feel about it. But anyway, I'm with Tracy though. It is getting late. I think this has been a great conversation.
Yeah.
I think we had fun tonight. Got into some good stuff.
I think we're actually going to start doing this a lot more often. We're actually going to start doing a little more deeper conversations and a little less haha. But then again, I probably was doing that because we didn't have a lot of serious conversations, and now we do. So
And I stopped making videos altogether. So
take my word for it, Labor Day weekend will probably be the next time we do a show like this. I guarantee you there'll be a lot more stuff coming out. Do you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, so right now, just kind of please support Marlon and Tracy and Anna and all that they do. I am not putting out any new content right now. And then as I pivot to my new endeavor, I will make occasional videos. I think what I'm going to stay with Marlon, I think I'm going to continue to do What If Theus runs for Congress, and I'll just do that, and I'll just be kind of what I do on the Complex Minds platform for those who are interested. But then on the core side, that's where I'll be doing a lot of my work.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, and of course,
I'm assuming you're LGBTQ until you.
That is our show for tonight. I love that woman. Tomorrow, we will be getting again into a deep dive about all the Supreme Court decisions that was made, including 2 that was made today. I'll have to make sure that I remind myself to find videos on that. Also, Parker, to answer your question about tomorrow, because I know everybody else is not interested in it except me, I will try to be back home tomorrow. Unfortunately, on a bad note, my brother-in-law lost his mother last week, and the funeral is tomorrow.
My condolences, bro.
So we're going see, but you got to understand that there are some things a lot more important than, you know. So until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace.
So I really don't have anything, but I mean, for real though, Joseph, you made the right call, bro. Ask the questions.